Uh, Here's a person saving a disabled guy. One Punch Man Season 3 Episode 9 was a good episode, but sex. I think this looks as good as Episode 8, maybe on par or a bit lower or better. You guys can be the judge, but animating such a complex design in a absolute dog shit of a schedule is something very impressive to do and ambitious. While the animation itself is really good for the show's standards, I mean, is it fight of the year? I mean, it's not even fight of the week. That goes to the last boss. Animation is up there with episode 8, but the problems are not just the animation for this one. A lot of it stems with the problems that the majority of the episodes has in terms of direction slash pacing, etc. Again, no manga section stuff because there's actually stuff to talk about animation wise. But yes, as a manga reader myself, I probably read the pre-retcon version of this fight, so I wouldn't know about the certain scenes that people were talking about that made, Child Emperor's character a bit more fleshed out, you can say, so I don't really have an opinion on that. Maybe I'll read the retcon version after this video, but if you want to know about the retcon version stuff, just go to Yassine's video about it. Hopefully I said it right this time. But who knows what they're doing with the story. I mean, it's the same producer and still the same series composition slash scriptwriter from season 1 and season 2, so yeah. For the Child Emperor versus Phoenixman fight, they got some specialists in this field, more so the mechs. The episode was storyboarded by Takashi Hashimoto and directed by Kozo Kaiho, alongside some very promising freelance animators that's not from Japan, and decent lineup of JC staff animators. No Aoki though. Oh, that's because he was storyboarding the recent episode of Mugen Gacha. I think that show has a better schedule than LPM Season 3, so the episode was probably finished a couple of months ago, maybe even more. Although Hashimoto gets highlighted more as a effects animator, since his whole career he has been doing a lot of that, not just effects animating, but also being the effects animation director for multiple shows. He is also very good at Gundam stuff slash mechs. He's the storyboarder, key animator, and credited as a mecha animation director for this episode. Someone that regularly is involved in mecha related projects, hence in a pretty recent JC Staff show with Mao 2099. When an episode had some mecha related things, he was the mecha animation director for that specific episode. The effects animation is great too. This episode, alongside Hashimoto, we have Kazunori Ozawa, the guy that made the second pre-anime trailer, and also the guy that animates most of Megumi's explosions in Konosuba. Hashimoto probably corrected most of the Brave Giant scenes because it is surprising how consistent looking the mecha is, unlike Phoenixman, although he can look good sometimes. I gotta say again, commendable that everything is in 2D, the characters, with such complex designs, but why don't they just use CG? Some shows can utilize CG Gundams mechs shit really well, but I mean, most people will still complain if it's 2D or 3D, so I feel like it would have been a better decision to have most of Brave Giant or maybe Phoenixman be in 3D and you sprinkle in some 2D cuts here and there, like some other mecha shows. That probably would have made it more consistent, since again, the CG team in JC Staff alongside with Studio Moe, they are pretty good. Even in a time crunch like OPM Season 2, they did a really good job at that department. Besides that though, some of the most impressive things about this fight is the effects animation. Of course, having two very notable names when it comes to effects animation, you will get some nice effects here and there, even if the conditions are autistic. This effects was by Ozawa, is very nice. The lightning, and of course Hashimoto with the corrections, very detailed designs. I love also they do this shot like most Gundam stuff. Overall, the fight, I think this is way better looking than episode 5. I think people that even for a second thought this matches with episode 5's animation is absolutely retarded. This episode was way more consistent and the highlight shines more for some scenes. Even then, I do think, yes, the inconsistencies are more visible because while episode 8 and this one probably had the same kind of animation power in it, people like to point out the limitations here in episode 9 because of how they handled it. Again, it is a recurring problem. The direction and overall flow of the fight didn't really give me the same impact as Flashy Flash's fight, and I don't care which character it is. I don't place a bias between anyone. This is just an objective stance right now. The music was all over the place. Again, it's literally a Spotify playlist. They finish a whole song and OST boom, change it. They don't do anything with it. They don't pause it. They don't let scenes breathe. It's just sometimes cut, and that's why it doesn't seem as appealing as episode 8. While I still think this is better than most episodes this season of OPM, although that's not a tall task to ask for. But another negative that again is another problem visually with this season is the hyper detailed backgrounds, I guess, that don't mix with the characters. There's nothing wrong with detailed realistic looking backgrounds, but if the color mixing and the textures are not kind of the same visual style that makes the characters and background feel like they're not in the same show, you can say, then that makes it a bit jarring. Let's just take Non-Non-Biori for example. Detailed looking backgrounds, but the character designs is more cute, simplistic, but it works super well. You don't see anything like weird about it. Same with Eurocam season 1. I do think they are overusing the thicker line art. While yes, it can be visually appealing, sometimes you don't need it. Coming back to the action, there's some really cool ambitious aerial shots or just random scenes that look pretty cool, like this Child Emperor scene with him twirling around the flute, really nice. Some shots utilizes the CG background really well. We saw in the first scene they were already using it to their advantage, setting the stage a bit more. I think Mikinori's cut is a perfect example, same with Torafu's one. These cuts by Mikinori was nice, cool looking mecha stuff. I don't know why they removed Child Emperor's brave child parts closing into him, but oh well. And the scene perfectly conveys Phoenix's weight stumbling around with very WebGen looking effects. And the CG background integration was very good, although there's a bit of a visual inconsistency, you can say. Like this pillar that Phoenix destroyed was hand-drawn, the first one. But the second one, I think it's an illustrated pillar, actually, not CG. I think the room, like the floor and walls are CGI, but some of the pillars aren't. You can see the pillar didn't really break into pieces as much, although they mask it pretty good with the effects. Tofaru's cuts, also very nice looking cuts with the missiles. I think my favorite cut goes to Kyota Miyamoto. From the looks of things, he has only recently been doing a lot of key animation stuff in JC, upcoming name from the studio. You'd love to see it. The Gundam sliding was very smooth. I think the most impressive thing about his cuts is the attention to detail, the debris animation, same with these bullets being hand-drawn, and the lighting flickering on the suit when Brave Child was shooting shit out of it was nice. There's some other good looking scenes, but that's most of it. Another surprising display of animation for OPM Season 3, although there were a lot more problems about this episode, not just the animation, everything feeling a bit lackluster because how they paced it or directed it, and removed some panels that could have been a good add, like when the Millennium Emperor Nova was shot, I wish they added the other hero's reaction that was still up top to the beam attack, and then remove the planet thing. I'll be honest with you, I haven't reached to the part where this thing was very crucial to the story, if that even happened. Of course, I remember the interaction with a certain villain with that planet thing soon. So yeah, I think this was the most impressive episode this season, but the overall direction kind of let me off. Not that satisfied with the episode, unlike the previous one. Next one is Plant vs. Zombie Man. We'll see what we have in store for him. Hopefully Aoki does something with him. If you guys liked the video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a like. Comment down below what your thoughts about this episode. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys next time.